4 on the Real Investment Show. I'm your host, Lance Roberts. There was an article on MarketWatch about a week or so ago that caught my attention. The article starts out as, after taking my Series 65 exam, that's the exam you take to be a financial advisor, right? And all it means is you can answer questions. That's what the exam is. Basically, study a book, you take a test, and then bingo, bango, you're a financial advisor and you're handling other people's wealth, right? So after taking the Series 65 exam last February, I set a goal for 2019, help 10 friends and family members with their finances. Instead of giving specific investment advice, I wanted to educate them on money matters. Now, I was just talking a second ago about the issue that we saw back in 1999 where you'd go to the store and your grocery clerk would give you stock tips, right? And there's an old saying of Wall Street, never take stock tips from your barber. And there's a reason for that, is that, near market peaks, everybody's a genius. You can't go wrong. No matter what you buy, it goes up. It's all good. Here's a guy that passed his license last year and is now giving financial advice to individuals. What could possibly go wrong with this? It's the idea. Here's the thing, though. So as he's writing the article, he starts giving some case studies, and so he talks about this one woman. She invested her money, and she had doubled her money over like 16 years, and she was happy with it, right? She was completely fine until this young gentleman got a hold of her and said, well, yeah, but if you would have just invested this way, you would have more than doubled your money. And now she's unhappy. Okay. Here's the point. Comparison is the one thing that leads us to making the biggest mistakes in our life, period. With regards to anything, whether it's business or whether it's our personal family lives or whether it's our finances or whether it's our investing. Comparison is one of the things that leads us to making the worst possible decisions because we always compare higher. My neighbor has a better car than me. My neighbor has a better house than me. What I see on the internet, everybody's living a much better, all my friends are going to exotic vacations, and I spent last night at a Holiday Inn Express, but I'm much smarter today. Comparison leads us to making these decisions that are not necessarily in our best position. Let me give you an example. Brent, I've known Brent for 20 years now. Brent is a great guy, hard worker. I bought you a new Mercedes as a bonus this year.
Thank you. Where is it?
It's in the parking lot.
All right.
Yeah. Now, you're fine with that, right? You're very happy. Yeah. I just bought you a Mercedes, right? That's pretty cool.
Outstanding.
How would you feel if you found out that I bought Karen 2 Mercedes? Karen is our genius client service associate.
I've seen the way she drives.
Yeah. But the problem is that all of a sudden you go, well, why don't I get 2 Mercedes? Yeah. Right? First thing that hits your mind, well, why does she get 2? Right? And see, this is comparison kicking in.
Yeah.
Right? And this is why can't we be happy with what we have? Why can't we be happy with what is enough? I mean, do you really need 2 Mercedes? Mm-hmm. Well, of course I do.
One to drive while the other one's in the shop.
Exactly. But we're never happy with just what is enough. And this is the comparison trap, right? So, and comparison is what causes more unhappiness in the world than really just about anything else. It's inevitable as human beings that, we're social animals, and as social animals, we have an urge to compare ourselves with somebody else. I mean, there was Ugg who lived in the cave, and he was jealous of, down the road that had a Tyrannosaurus format, right? So, this has happened since the turn of time. I mean, wars have been fought over this. I mean, we have literally launched wars over comparison. Somebody had a better hillside than we did, so we wanted to go take it, right? If I can't have it, you can't have it either.
Someone's got more oil than we do.
Yeah, that's happened more than once. But it's just because of, we're kind of terminally insecure in this kind of cosmic sense, and social comparison comes in, many different forms. And, keeping up with the Joneses is obviously one of the best known ways. But, kind of going back to this idea of, me giving Brent a Mercedes and giving somebody else two Mercedes, when you find out that happens in the workplace, now you're upset, but you just got a raise. So you get a raise, somebody else gets a little bit bigger raise, but now you're upset because you didn't get a bigger raise as somebody else, rather than just being happy and content with what you've got and asking yourself the question, well, if I want a bigger raise, what do I need to do? What did I not do to get that bigger raise? How do I improve myself to make sure I get a bigger raise next time? This is the lessons we should be taking in, but instead we're just upset. So now we quit our job and we go do something else, right? And those type of rash reactions tend to lead to worse choices down the road. And this happens a lot in the financial markets. But the financial markets are designed specifically to do this to you. If you listen to the financial media as an example, and kind of going back to this article, right? Here's this woman, her portfolio had doubled over the course of a period of time, and she was completely happy with it. She was not upset about it until somebody pointed out that somebody else got two Mercedes. Now she's upset. Now here we are at the peak of a market cycle. We're 10 years into this thing. Now she's going to go out and make changes to her portfolio, take on more risk at the worst possible time. Why? Because of comparison. I need more. Rather than just being happy and content with what we have, we always want more. And wanting more always leads us. Again, it's not just in the financial markets. This is not just investing. It's in business. We take on too much risk. We take on too much leverage because we want more, and it winds up biting us in the butt down the road. Personally, we go buy and extend ourselves well beyond our means, and it winds up paying a price down the road. Consequences and of comparison are not ever really good. Chasing the Joneses never really works out well because you're simply extending yourself well beyond your means. So, and this is kind of this ongoing, and look, and again, Wall Street has come as again, kind of the worst purveyor of this idea of comparison. They've created benchmarks and all kinds of other things for you to compare yourself to, so you can see on a real-time, minute-by-minute basis how good you're doing. The market's up 1% today, and you're only up 0.5. So what's wrong with my portfolio? I got to go take on more risk. I'm not getting what the market's giving. What's enough? The markets were up 30% last year. If you needed 6% a year for the next 5 years to meet your retirement goal, you got it all in 1 year. You could literally go to cash today and be at your retirement goal, but you don't. Why? Because you might miss out this year. You might get a little more this year, right? And and again, you're looking at your retirement portfolio. You're looking at the markets and going, well, the market's going up. I need to be in there, right? So you take on more risk, right? Instead of being happy with the fact that you're now at your retirement goal early, mind you. Instead of being happy with that, we want more. And what's going to happen here is you're going to go more, and the markets are going to trip up and basically wipe out all of that 30% gain plus some. And now you're no longer at your retirement goal anymore. And now you're going to have to be working longer to get back to where you need to be. But this was because we wanted more. So, the problem with comparison is, and the whole financial market is constructed on this idea, is to create more comparisons. They want you to move money. Money in motion creates fees and revenue for Wall Street. Not you, for Wall Street. And that's why Wall Street is constructed this way. The marketing, the media, the advertising is all in order to get you to move money, to create motion. Motion creates money. But not necessarily is that always in your best case. Psychology is one of the biggest problems that investors have, and whether it's our mentality to chase and to compare and to follow, to be like, we want to be like everybody else. We want to be the cool kids on the block. This leads us to making decisions that are not always in our best interest. And this is why that you have to set your expectations and set goals. My wife and I spent a good bit of time on Sunday. It's January, so every year we review our budget. We talk about how much we're going to spend and how much we're going to save, and we focus on savings over spending, and how do we get there? How do we maintain? The cost of living is going up. The cost of college is going up. We have these things that we have to deal with, but how do we maintain our savings rate on an annual basis? And these are conversations that are hard to have with couples, but it's something that's incredibly important, because we have to step back and make sure that we're not just chasing and comparing ourselves to everybody else and making bad decisions. That article's on our website right now at realinvestmentadvice.com. I'm your host, Lance Roberts. Don't go away.
Try to make sense me. You're a slave to the money and you die.
Got questions for Lance later? Ask now at realinvestmentadvice.com.